Locks and Locks of Hairstyles, and today we're going to show you how to make this really cute earring holder. And it's really great because I was always getting my earrings lost in drawers and stuff, but now it's really convenient to have and I like it a lot, so give it a try. Thanks.
So here are the supplies you're going to need. I have an old frame that's just kind of junky and it doesn't matter because I'm going to redo it. Some scissors, a stapler, a little bit stronger than just a paper stapler, and paintbrush, some lace that I picked out or some kind of trim that you like. I made this little name card, but you don't have to do it. I'll show you how I did it. And some acrylic paint, or you can use house paint. And then I have this silver rub and buff. That's optional too, but I love the way it two-tones the frame when I get done. So I just am starting with some white paint. Looks a little bit cream in this light, but trust me, it's white. And I'm just going to cover the whole frame. And then once I have that coat on, I can still see a little bit of the old color through it, so I am going to paint a second coat. Just look at your frame and see how many coats it needs, or if you have a brand new frame, you can skip this step. I will put another layer on mine, and to speed it up, I will blow dry it. Just kind of slowly move around. You can paint it any color you want, but I wanted it to match Bella's bedroom. Then I take a little bit of rub and buff. You can just get this at the craft store. Get a little bit on my finger, just a little bit. A little bit goes a long way. I'm using about that much. And then I like to put it on the frame because it brings out the beveled edges and all the decorative way the wood is cut. So you just smear it on, however thick or thin you like it. But notice how it's giving it that pretty two-tone effect, which I really like. Put a little heavier in the corners, but you can do it completely however you like it. So once you have all your rub and buff on, get out your ruler and measure your frame and judge how thick of trim that you bought that you want to hang on this, and then figure out how many strips to do. I'm doing 5 strips. And so I have spaced them apart based on the measurements of my frame, and they're all 2.5 inches apart. So check yours, see how thick your trim and what you want to work with, and then get them marked off evenly on both sides of your frame. And then I just am trimming up my edge nice and clean. And I want to center my trim right on my dot so that I'm not putting it right at the top of my dot or below. I'll just put my trim right over the center. The center of my trim is on my dot. Stick it back here in the back side of the frame where you won't be able to see it. Just take your stapler and pop a staple into it to hold it in place. Then take your trim or your lace, stretch it across, do the very same thing on the other side. Make sure that you have it centered on your dot, or whatever you've set up for yourself. If you want them on the top or the bottom, just make sure you have them even. Staple it in. Then trim it off. See how cute you're starting to see it already take shape. Just keep going down your frame and hook on each piece where you've marked it off. Staple them on both sides. Now, since my trim is the type that frays, I will just get out my hot glue gun and just slather a big dollop back here. It will do 2 things. It will keep it from fraying, and it won't scratch my wall with that staple or with anything that's sticking out. It'll just give it a nice rubbery protection. I'll do it on each side all the way down my frame. Now this is how I tied my ribbon. Looped it over, wrapped it around itself, and just pulled it through and made a cute little loop. And then right on that knot is where I will fasten down my little name card that I made. So pull it out about as long as you want. Mine is 6 inches, so that that's how I liked it looking, hanging on the wall, but you can make yours different. I also put down some green tabs on the edges, again, to give my wall a little protector so it doesn't scratch it. Find the center, measure it off, and then just take a little dab of hot glue and glue that piece of ribbon down right where you marked it off. You can put the ribbon closer together. Mine is 6 inches apart. That way, I liked the way it hung. You can straddle the ribbon further if you'd like to, but just play with it before you glue it on so that you see what looks good to you. Then on this name card, what I did is it's just scrapbook paper, and I printed her name on the computer, and then I glued it onto another piece of paper, and then I took the ribbon around the edge and I gathered it up. I put a little dab of hot glue all the way around the edge of it, and then gathered the ribbon, glued it down, put a back piece on it to hold it together. Super easy. Take a little dab of glue right below that knot or on the knot, glue that down, let it dry, and then you can start to hang your earrings on it. I don't even take the back off. I just hang it through with the back on it. Have fun.